Hi guys, it's Benny from TX Space Station. How's everyone doing? And welcome to this Wii Games Done Dirt Cheap. I've been saying for a while that it's a really good time to start collecting for the Nintendo Wii because as the Wii U is now finished and we're onto the next generation, the Nintendo Switch, there are a lot of bargains to be had for this system. This video is particularly aimed at people who've maybe just started collecting for the Wii and you might have missed out some of the good titles, but I've managed to find some games at really low prices that I want to share with you today. The prices that I mentioned for these games include postage and packaging, and the prices are taken from eBay or Amazon. But actually a lot of these games I found out in the wild, so to speak, and you can get them for even cheaper than I'm going to be mentioning today. So the first game then is MadWorld, and this game I could find for £3.48, which is an absolute steal. This game is a really standout title on the Wii because of its graphical style. It's by Sega, and it's an amazingly violent game considering that people often labelled the Wii as being a game for kids or full of childlike Nintendo games. It's essentially a blood sport brawler where you're playing as this dude competing for cash and essentially have to execute people in increasingly inventive ways. It plays really well, and the black and white graphics really accentuate the violence because the only thing that appears in colour is the spurts of blood, which is obviously crimson red. The game has a fantastic sense of humour. You kill people in some really cruel and ridiculously over the top ways, like impaling them on spikes on the wall and throwing them into tyres and all sorts of crazy stuff. And it's a pretty easy game to pick up and play. Most of the combos involve bashing A and then pressing B to slice them with your chainsaw. It features some pretty good use of the Wii motion controls though. You can swipe your Wiimote to cut people into half and all that kind of stuff. And for that kind of price, this is a must-have game to pick up and play because it's a really fun experience. The next game is Cursed Mountain, and this one I could find online for £3.99. This is a game that really took me by surprise, and you don't hear many people talking about it these days. Survival horror games are not really my cup of tea, but this game somehow really intrigued me, and I kept playing it, and I have finished this one. You play as one of two brothers who are climbing the Himalayan mountains together, and your brother essentially goes missing, and so for the game you start to try and find where he's gone to. As you progress up the mountain, you start to uncover more and more mysterious goings on, and you find that the mountain itself is actually cursed, and you start to encounter these terrifying spirits and demons. The game is really scary, it builds suspense excellently, and there are lots of jump out of your skin moments. The setting of an abandoned mountain in the Himalayas really is a perfect setting for a horror game because it's just so desolate and deserted and scary as you start to progress through. It's also a very beautiful environment, and you'll see lots of scapes of the sweeping mountains covered in snow, beautiful environments with little Tibetan flags in them, and overall the game just has a very unique, beautiful aesthetic to it. It features some very good uses of the Wiimote as well, because when you're hacking down ghosts and demons with your pickaxe, you have to swipe certain ways at certain times to kill them. That never feels gratuitous, and it's just about the right amount of Wiimote waggling for my liking. This is a really good game to pick up if you haven't played it before, guys. Cursed Mountain. The next game is an absolute gem, and it's one that I fell in love with when I first found it. The game is No More Heroes, and this game you can find online for about £5.30. I actually found this one out in the wild for £3, so I'd probably go to CEX or somewhere like that because it's a very common game that you can find a lot of out in the wild. This is a very fun tongue-in-cheek game, and it's another one that people were surprised by, again because of the label of the Wii being cutesy. This game is super violent, though unfortunately for the PAL release, the blood has been replaced with coins or something. Ugh. The essential premise of this game is that you're playing as an over-the-top assassin who's competing in a tournament of assassins, and you have to beat the people above you to go up the rank, and eventually you beat the game by beating the guy at the top. But it's the way that the game unfolds that makes it so memorable. It has a real classic look to it that just is unmistakably No More Heroes. Everything is brilliantly over the top, it's fantastically violent, and you kill people with this ridiculous lightsaber made out of what looks like a light bulb. You get to execute enemies by swinging it around and exploding them into coins, and it's just really fun. It's got great music, and it's just got this kind of over-the-top B-movie kind of approach which makes it very memorable. There's lots of things to do in the game. It has an open world which does have a few glitches, but overall it's okay, and you can do various challenge modes and unlock power-ups and boosts and things like that. But it's a sense of humour, the over-the-top action and the graphics that make this game really fun and really unique, and it's really a must-have title. Next up we have a bundle of games, and this is House of the Dead 2 and 3, and you can find this online for about £4.40, definitely under £5 anyway, and I think that's really good value for money. You know, these are classic arcade games that I grew up on, and I used to waste so many pound coins in the arcades playing these games, and they work really well on the Nintendo Wii. You know, one of the Wii's strong features is the fact that light gun games work really well because the Wiimote is already cut out for it, and these games have been adapted to the Wii fantastically. Graphically, they still look really brilliant. There are various different modes on the system, arcade mode and a Wii mode, and it's just really fun to get your friends round and play two-player and co-op through the campaigns. You know, these are really timeless games. There are multiple different forking paths that you can adopt, and they're very challenging. And I think these games really stand up to the test of time. It's really nice to have them here at home, working really well on the Wii. Now, you know, you may be able to play them on MAME and things, but you're not going to be able to get the light gun to work as well as you can here. And I think for less than £5, this is an absolute steal, and I've really enjoyed having this thing in my collection, and it always comes out when people are over for a bit of fun and a few beers. Now, for each of these videos that I do, I'm going to try and find the game that really is brilliantly low priced and find one that's kind of lower than anything else. And the next game is a fantastic price. This game you can find for £1.29, and the game is Red Steel. You'll see this one in lots of charity shops in CEX and things, and you can probably find it there for £1 or £2. And if you haven't played it, it's well worth a look. This is a Japanese Yakuza or Triad type shooter, but it works really well with the Wii motion controls, and it's one of the few games where people actually tried to make the Wiimote controls work well in the game. So yes, it's a first-person shooter, you go through the levels, but you use your Wiimote to aim. It takes a bit of getting used to, but that kind of gives you a degree of freedom and makes it feel very unique and very worthwhile having the Wiimote. But also the thing that makes this game really interesting is the fact that you go into first-person fights, hand-to-hand melee fights with people, and this is where the Wiimote use really stands out, because you have to block samurai sword attacks and fist fights, and you have to perfectly time swings of the Wiimote to execute attacks. And I found that this mix between the first-person shooting and the brawling elements with the timing of the Wiimote really made it a unique game. It has a very good story that became very addictive, and I played this one through to the end because I wanted to find out what happened. As you go through the game, you unlock new attacks and new combinations and things, and it just has that kind of addictive feel to it. You really want to keep playing it. I think the second game really improved upon this game because it adapted the Wiimote controls to work with the Wii Motion Plus, and overall the second game is probably more polished, but I still think that if you haven't played this, for less than £2, this is an absolute steal, pardon the pun, and one that's well worth checking out. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video of Wii games done dirt cheap. Now is a great time to collect for the system, and if you guys like this video, I'll be sure to show off some more games that you can get for bargain prices shortly. Take care guys, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.